From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Hey folks, good evening. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend so far. It's the second last weekend of summer. Temperatures out here cooling back down to the 40s and 50s tonight, maybe near 60 in the valley, but I think a lot of us will be in the upper 50s. And of course, that goes without saying. 40s will be the story from Siskiyou to Modoc County out towards the East Mountains 395 corridor as well. We'll be warming up though over the next couple of days. Tomorrow is the beginning of that, actually a rather notable warm up here. This is the beginning of that warming trend I've been talking about over the last day or two. Of course, today and yesterday were the relatively more cool days of the next 7. Notice those 90s right back in the valley and Trinity County as well. We're going to be talking widespread mid-90s out there. Don't think we're going to be seeing any triple digits. 80s for the rest of us, perhaps even still a few spots in the upper 70s, but out towards Altura, Siskiyou, Modoc County, Mount Shasta City in the East Mountains. I think for those of us in the lower elevations, we'll stay steady there around 85 or so along the coast, holding steady there in the 60s. Now, taking a look at the big picture here as we head into these first days of fall. Remember how at the beginning I mentioned we're in the second to last weekend of summer. Next weekend will be the last weekend, and then next Monday is the first day of fall. We're going to stay above average as far as temperatures are concerned, although low pressure might take back hold and cool us down a little bit in the long term, right? So after we get past this little heat wave, I think we might get back a little cooler to where we should be. On the coast, holding steady in the 60s. A little further inland, well, we might get near triple digits, but I'm honestly not expecting that to be widespread. We'll call it upper 90s for Tuesday. Tuesday's probably going to be the warmest day of the week. Notice long term, though, remember how I was talking about this last weekend of fall, or last weekend of summer, rather, as we head into the first days of fall. That's where we start to see this cool down again. So we've got those temperatures going up, and then they're back down towards the next 7 days. So this is not going to be a long-lasting trend by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, that low pressure, which the long-range models are showing towards Friday and Saturday, might even bring in a little moisture. So let's just go ahead, watch next weekend, the end of next week, or this week rather, that is to say, for maybe a little bit of shower activity creeping on in here. That chance could go up. We'll watch that very closely. Of course, Mike will have you covered through the week. But for now, we're going to have nice conditions out there. Mount Shasta City, Alturas, Modoc County, and the East Mountains will be steady in the upper 80s and near 90 for Tuesday and Wednesday. In the valley, hey, same situation here. No triple digits, more than likely that is, but we'll be steady in the upper 90s until about Thursday, and then we'll get back down to the upper 80s. In fact, next weekend in a lot of ways could be quite similar to this weekend. So we're kind of bracketed on either side by a heat wave, but if you're maybe more of a fall fan, just wait a little bit and I think our pattern will change. Well, thanks for joining me this weekend, folks. Glad I could help you here in your forecast from the Weather NorCal Command Center. Mike will have you covered tomorrow morning, and I'll see you next Saturday.